Hello, and welcome to another lesson of Arabi Bilbayt. Today we're going to be talking about doubled verbs, specifically Form 1 doubled verbs in the present tense. Now, doubled verbs are just verbs where the last two radicals are the same. They're doubled. In Arabic, doubled verbs are known as الفعل المضاعف, literally doubled. And these are verbs like حب يحب, شك يشك, رد يرد, جف يجف, فك يفك, and dhanna يظن. Now, most of the doubled verbs you'll come across in the wild will have a dhamma as the stem vowel, but that's not always the case. I included here a couple that have a kasra. The only way to know the true identity of the stem vowel is to look it up in the dictionary. The good news is that once you know how to conjugate one doubled verbs, you'll know how to conjugate all of them. So with that, let's get started by conjugating the verb habba yahibbu, meaning to love. Now, the first thing we do, as always, is look up the root in the dictionary, but note that when you're looking up a doubled verb, you only look up the first two radicals, in this case, habba, not hababa. And in this case, we see that the identity of the stem vowel is a kasra, denoted by that I, which tells us that the huwa conjugation is huwa yahibbu, huwa yahibbu. Now, take a look at what's going on here. Typically, when we have a three-letter root like fa'ala, the stem vowel goes on the middle radical. So if it was a kasra, it would go under the ayn because the ayn is the middle radical. But in this case, when we have a doubled verb like in habba and the ba is doubled with the shadda, the stem vowel actually moves one over to the right and it goes under the first radical, the ha in this case. And this happens in almost all the conjugations, like we see ana ahibbu, anta tahibbu, anti tahibbina. See, all of these have the kasra under the ha. Even huma feminine, tahibbani. We have nahnu nahibbu. You get the idea. But there are a couple of them that actually has the ba split up, like antunna tahbibna and hunna yahbibna. And this happens when the suffix of the conjugation begins with a consonant. And in this case, we have the noon, which is a consonant. And so the doubled radical is split up. Let's take a look at the antunna conjugation to understand what's going on. So here we have antunna tahbibna, and to get there, the first thing we do is split up the doubled root because of the suffix that begins with a consonant. Here we split up from habba to habbaba. Then we vowel the root. It always has the pattern of sukoon, stem vowel, sukoon. In this case, the stem vowel is a kasra. And then lastly, we just add the prefix and suffix like we always do. And that's how we get antunna tahbibna. Antunna tahbibna. And that basically covers doubled verbs. Every doubled verb in the present tense will follow this exact same pattern. So practice a few of the ones that I covered in the beginning of the lesson and you'll get the hang of it in no time. Thanks for tuning in. Wa shukran. Ila liqa.